Hello and welcome. So glad you've joined us for another weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Today we'll be looking at how government plans to fund the operation of the health sector in the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Western Roundup returns this week with the ENDS pilot in Montego Bay. Plus, we continue to keep you informed and share the facts about COVID-19. Stay with us for these informative features and more right after this important message.
By order, under the Disaster Risk Management Act, you must wear a mask in all public access places and in public transportation. If you wear a mask and I wear a mask, we are all safer.
Government continues to make significant investments in the public health sector. Billions of dollars have been allocated to undertake key projects and activities for the new financial year. We now take a look at those developments and the expenditure planned for the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
We subscribe to the Sustainable Development Goal 3, which is that good health and well-being for all at all ages. And we have done that in a few ways.
And in advancing the Health for All agenda over the next 12 months, spanning April 2021 to March 2022, government will spend close to $84.6 billion on healthcare delivery and development through the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The figure is a 6.3% or approximately $4.95 billion increase over the previous year. It includes a capital allocation of $2.71 billion, a reduction of 8% over the previous year, due mainly to the closure of the Program for the Reduction of Maternal and Child Mortality, PROMAC. The majority of the expenditure will cover operating expenses, including salaries, pharmaceutical and medical supplies, and the cost to rehabilitate and maintain equipment and furniture, as well as physical plants in the 4 health regions. A large part of the allocation to support the regional health authorities will cover the costs directly associated with the delivery of health services. Some of the funds will also support the COVID-19 response, including the cost of vaccines, maintenance and repairs of furniture and equipment, as well as the physical plant of the National Public Health Lab and Blood Bank. There is also provision for the procurement of pharmaceutical and medical supplies for users of health facilities in the 4 regional health authorities. And some $2.35 billion will support the management and administration of the 4 regional health authorities, St. Joseph's Hospital, National Council on Drug Abuse, and the Enforcement and Compliance Service. 6 health improvement projects will be jointly funded at $2.7 billion by the Government of Jamaica and its bilateral and multilateral partners in the new fiscal year. Among them is the continuation of interventions to reduce HIV infection rates, end discrimination, and cover treatment and counseling for infected persons.
And the trends are suggesting that transmission or the threat of transmission makes all of us vulnerable. So the mainstreaming of that message is important, the expenditure around the messaging is important, and very importantly, the need to deal with stigma and by extension discrimination is absolutely critical.
$7.9 million will support work by the National Family Planning Board to reduce teenage pregnancy, increase public awareness on adolescent sexual and reproductive health, and increase access to services. $1.3 billion will support the redevelopment of the Cornwall Regional Hospital to include 100% completion of Phase 2A and B, advance work under Phase 3, and begin procurement of medical equipment as part of the redevelopment.
To date, the ministry has spent some $784 million in expenditure for the rehabilitation works and the continuing of the service while the works are being undertaken. And this year, a proposed $1.3 billion is being recommended for approval to finance the implementation of Phase 2B, which will see the engineering rehabilitation of the building and the installation of the new heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. And then, Madam Chair, this year the project will also see the launch of the final tender for Phase 3 and this phase will see the complete restoration of the facility.
The government will also spend some $125 million on construction of the Children and Adolescent Hospital in Western Jamaica during the new fiscal year. This will complete upgrade of a sewage treatment system, start and complete Phase 2 parking, and begin construction of the hospital. Work will also be done under the government's Prevention and Care Management of Non-Communicable Disease program, supported by the Inter-American Development Bank. During the 2021-2022 fiscal year, designs are also to be completed for the renovation or construction of new buildings at 10 health centers and 3 hospitals.
To support the rehabilitation of 3 major Type B hospitals, Spanish Town, Maypen, and St. Anne's Bay. And this year, we expect, based on where we are in the process, to spend some $554 million to commence that work, and in particular looking at A&E at the Spanish Town Hospital and the expansion of diagnostics for Maypen and St. Anne's Bay.
Hospitals and health centers will be outfitted with new medical equipment and industrial laundry machines. The project will also support the implementation of the chronic care model at health centers, development of telehealth, and implementation of a sustainable electronic health platform.
Improving health outcomes is what we're about at the ministry, as reflected in the Vision for Health 2030 strategic plan, which, among other things, speaks to access to health care, but also critically access to quality health care.
Those are just some of the plans of the Ministry of Health and Wellness in the new fiscal year.
The government of Jamaica is introducing shared corporate services to revolutionize the way it operates. Shared corporate services will utilize the latest technology, leaner processes, and service standards to drive efficiency and effectiveness in the public sector. The Transformation Implementation Unit is working to streamline public services in 7 operational areas: human resource management, information and communication technology, asset management, procurement, finance and accounts, public relations and communication, as well as internal audit. Shared corporate services is a tried and proven way of improving the delivery of public services. The government of Jamaica is transforming to serve its citizens better. We're building a better public sector for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
In our Western Roundup segment this week, we see how the e-commerce national delivery system ENDS is operating in Montego Bay. Hop on for this trip.
Very good program. The best thing since COVID.
Can any good really come from COVID-19? Well, in this episode of Western Roundup, we take you to the streets of Montego Bay, where we speak with stakeholders who are praising the e-commerce national delivery system ENDS, possibly the best thing since COVID-19. Stick around. Some 500 entrepreneurs in Montego Bay, to include restaurateurs, e-commerce couriers, and pan-chicken vendors, are earning from activities under the pilot phase of the e-commerce national delivery system ENDS. The program commenced in Montego Bay on April 2 and has so far been met with optimism by stakeholders who are thanking the government for rolling out the new initiative.
ENDS have been very good for us. ENDS have been working well. It put some people to work. People got food at home that they wouldn't get, and what we found that was a pleasant surprise were a lot of overseas people buying food for locals and sending it to them. So it did well. I mean, we didn't have that business before, and even after COVID, we expect that that's going to be a big revenue source, delivery of meals from overseas Jamaicans. We're continuing this ride through. We've now set this in stone. We've hired a person and we've purchased systems that have delivery as a part of our revenue stream, and hopefully at some point make it 24 hours.
For businesses that don't have their own websites, especially the local micro-enterprises such as jerk vendors, an e-commerce platform has been provided to ensure they too can effectively participate in the action.
Since the launch, the support has been absolutely tremendous. I don't think anybody anticipated the overwhelming support that this would have gotten. Coupled with the close attention to detail from the ends and the government team and the local governmental bodies, coupled with the technology that we've empowered these small vendors with, it has made the process for the customers who are trying to order very simple, very easy. Orders are coming in, back to back. In layman's term, we don't have a hand for collect orders. We don't have bikes for the delivery. But as the program grows, we'll have a lot more support, a lot more infrastructure in place to really support this project that is going to have an impactful effect on the economy.
The ENDS program, I think it is really a great program because so far the orders, they are coming in. People order online and they can use their credit card to purchase chicken if they don't have any cash at hand. So I think it's a great opportunity because, the first lockdown was like sitting at home not doing nothing. You don't know where you're gonna get the money to pay the bills and stuff like that. But the ENDS program now gave us an opportunity to still provide for our family. And I'm sure in the future this will be a great asset for the benefit of my family and others.
Very good program. The best thing since COVID. Well, otherwise business was 100%. Since COVID, go down 75%. Ends put you back on feet. The program will bring you back on feet. After because the Prime Minister and the people, all the people who come with this ENDS program here, it's a very good program. Definitely good program.
So how do you order your favorite meal using the ENDS platform? It's quite easy. Visit www.ends.gov.jm.
You log on and you find your favorite jerk man. You scroll through, all right? And then we have all of them listed right there. So let us say you found him. You're gonna click on his icon to buy. Then you're gonna see the price, how much you want, quarter, half, or a full chicken. Part of the chicken, if you want sauce, if you want to add a beverage. So let's do a quarter chicken, a leg and thigh, ketchup, orange juice, and then we're gonna add that to the bag, all right? Then once you're done, you're gonna go to checkout. Then you're gonna put in your email address so we can communicate with you about your order status. Then you put in your address information, your phone number, your street address, what city you're from, and where you're from, St. James or Montego Bay, all right? And then there we go, we are in St. James. And after you've done that, you click on the continue button. You choose your delivery, hit continue. And then you go to your payment by clicking the button by going to payment. And then the payment screen will show up where you can input your credit card information, hit continue, and then the order will come to us through a mobile app that we have right here. Mobile app, and order comes through the mobile app, and the orders can be checked there. So very simple, very straightforward, and it is that easy to order from your favorite pan chicken man to the ENDS website made by Sobe Stores for the Mobe hip strip jerk. A lot of persons out there need to understand that this isn't about the pan chicken man. This is about the ushering in of a new form of commerce, opening a new side of the economy to digital e-commerce. So we started off with the pan chicken bin as a base, but as we grow, this is going to open up Jamaica to forms of commerce and to expand the economy in ways it has never done before.
The web-based ENDS system enables quick service industry and delivery stakeholders registered on the platform to operate during the coronavirus COVID-19 curfew hours until midnight by facilitating online delivery only. The program was first rolled out on March 26 in Portmore St. Catherine and expanded to Montego Bay St. James and Kingston and St. Andrew on April 2.
Ensure you check out the ENDS website the next time you get the chance. That's all for the program. Thanks for joining us for Western Roundup, where, as we always say, we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Remember to send your feedback to jismobe@jis.gov.jm. Until next time, take care.
It's absolutely critical that we receive the vaccines. You will see hospitalizations and indeed deaths likely come down. And so there is a lot of value to be gained by getting as many vulnerables on board as possible. So tell your mothers, tell your aunts, listen out for yourselves if you're over 60, and take the vax, because the vax is what will help you to guard against the COVID virus, and indeed help your relatives, your friends, those who you come in contact with, for the same benefit.
Misinformation about COVID-19 and the vaccines developed for it pose serious health threats, as persons are influenced to make the wrong decisions for their health. You deserve to know the truth, factual information about COVID-19 and the vaccine we are currently using. Keep watching for those.
After you get your first dose, it takes a few weeks, about 3 or 4 weeks, before your body has produced sufficient protection to reduce your risk of COVID. So if you get exposed in the week or the second week after your first dose, you could still get COVID. But once you've had 3 to 4 weeks after the first dose, the risk of getting COVID is much, much less. After you get the second dose, 7 days after the second dose, you are fully protected. And therefore, it is rare to get COVID after you have 2 doses. We already know it lasts several months, but we don't know how long it will last. For instance, the flu vaccine often lasts only a year. You have to then get another flu vaccine the following year. We're hoping that the COVID vaccine will last longer than that. Maybe you will need a booster in a year or 2 years or 3 years. That is still to be determined, but we do know that the vaccine is good, so we are optimistic that it will give you protection for a good while. If someone is sick with COVID currently, then we do not advise them to take the vaccine while they're ill. After they recover, they are going to develop immunity and protection to getting infected again. So usually we say wait 4 to 6 months, since we know that people will have immunity for at least 6 months. So we say allow someone else, since there's such a problem with the number of doses available, allow someone else to get vaccinated and they could wait 4 to 6 months. But if they have recovered and they do take the vaccine, no harm will come to them. In fact, that will act as a booster to their immune system, so they'll be even more protected than before. Someone with lupus should get the vaccine, because that's someone with a comorbidity. If they get COVID, they're at risk of having more serious attack of COVID. So as long as they're not having an acute flare-up, then they should get the vaccine. If they're having an acute flare-up of their lupus, as soon as it is controlled, is reasonably controlled, they should get the vaccine.
You have a comorbidity, then therefore you are definitely on our priority listing. So I want to encourage you to continue to build your immune system, eat right, certainly get some sun in the day, a lot of sleep, so that when it's your turn, your system will be ready to accept the vaccine. It is a conversation to be had with your physician as to your current robust status. So if you are well, you are not having a flare at this time, then yes, you ought to take the vaccine.
Whatever illness you might have, it is important to visit the doctor at the earliest sign of sickness. For many conditions, early detection can lead to better outcomes. Don't stay at home and self-medicate and allow your condition to worsen before going to the doctor.
If you are a youngster, young child, 14 and younger, older person, or you have a compromised immune system, you have an underlying illness, a cancer patient, a diabetic patient, then your system is compromised. You need to see the doctor quickly and let the doctor prescribe.
Visiting your doctor early protects your health, so you can enjoy more moments, more life.
Managing through the pandemic does pose serious challenges for persons, not only financially but mentally as well. We have some tips for engaging in positive and uplifting activities that can help maintain good mental health.
It is normal to feel sad, stressed, confused, scared, or overwhelmed during a crisis such as that caused from the COVID-19 pandemic. But there's no need to. For one, we must first inform ourselves about this disease through reliable sources to determine our risk and precautions to take. This can go a far way in calming our fears and ensuring our safety. Keeping in touch with family and friends and talking to people you trust, even as we practice social distancing, can help prevent panicking and keep you in good spirits. If you must stay at home during this period, try to maintain a healthy lifestyle of proper diet, adequate sleep, and regular exercise. Don't use smoking, alcohol, or other drugs to deal with your emotions. If you feel overwhelmed, talk to someone about it, a healthcare provider or counselor that you can call. Ensure that you're fully engaged in something constructive to occupy your time. An arrangement with your employer to work from home where possible is good in helping to keep up normal daily routines. Limit the time you and your family spend watching, listening, or in conversations about COVID-19 that you perceive as scary or upsetting to avoid being overwhelmed. Make sure you are in the know generally, but try to engage more in other things or change the topic of your conversations to things you enjoy talking about. Draw on the skills that have helped you manage previous adversities. It's important to try to maintain some sort of daily agenda so that the days are not wasted and you'll feel more accomplished. Focus on activities that make you feel happy, like reading a book, watching your favorite show, playing video games with your family, or telling stories. Do some gardening or chores around the home too. Children too need to be provided with the information to help them understand the risks without becoming scared and confused. Use age-appropriate language to teach them about hand washing, cough and sneezing etiquette, and social distancing. It's also important to reassure them about what could happen if they start feeling sick and may have to go to the hospital so doctors can help them feel better. In the meantime, ensure their learning continues even as schools are out. And give them extra time and attention. Listen, speak kindly, comfort them, and of course, make time to play. When it comes to easing fear and anxiety around COVID-19, just consider that once we do what's necessary to protect ourselves and prevent spread, we should be well. If we do get sick, rest assured our doctors are trained to manage the illness and help us recover. And yes, while we maintain proper cough etiquette, cover our noses when we sneeze, and practice social distancing, we must treat each other with care and respect. Don't be startled by every cough or sneeze. Remember, not everyone who does has the virus. Take care of yourself, support others, don't panic.
Role of the DRF in violence prevention in our society is to mediate. We believe that mediation is really a very good thing in terms of resolving disputes at the court level, at the parish court level, and at the Supreme Court level. Now, let me tell you about some of the matters that may come at the parish court levels. You and I live in a tenement yard and a fight. We report the matter to the police, it goes to court. The judge may say, well, you know, you are just probably a teenager. Go to mediation and see if you can get a settlement. Because if you can agree, then you won't have a criminal record. We urge everyone, call our offices, come to our offices, no matter how simple the matter may be. Come to us, we have persons who are trained.
We've come to the end of another wonderful journey. Thanks so much for your company. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another show. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website at jis.gov.jm or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Until next time, stay COVID-free and do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.